You guys, I did it! Yes! Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Lately Fashionable. As you may know, it has been my goal for the past 14 months to sew myself an entire vintage wardrobe so that I can spend a year dressing vintage. My goal is to sew 24 separate garments that I could mix and match in a vintage wardrobe, and I succeeded. Although the specific plans have changed significantly since I first started this project. Let's update the board and then we'll talk about it. In the past month, actually only 3 weeks, I finished my blue swing coat, and I started and finished my yellow silk birthday gown, which you will get to see soon. And I also completed a bonus project, which was altering this plaid A-line skirt that I had made in 2020, so that it has the split side pocket placket closure and it fits me better and is more adjustable. So now that's back in my wardrobe, which is exciting. So I now have one garment only cut out, one garment in progress, and 24 completed. That's right, I did it. I finally got there. I am very proud of myself. So, my original plans had included 7 dresses, 3 skirts, 3 pairs of pants, 6 blouses, 3 jackets, and 2 vests. I actually made 4 dresses, 7 skirts, 3 pairs of pants, 6 blouses, 1 jacket, 2 coats, and 1 vest. To break it down even further, I made 2 of the 7 dresses I had originally planned, plus 2 more that I came up with throughout the year. I completed all 3 of the original skirts and 4 additional ones, plus altering the previous makes, which are bonus projects and do not count towards the total of 24. I also completed all 3 pairs of pants, didn't add any there. And of the 6 blouses I originally planned, I had to ditch one of them because I didn't have enough fabric, but I added an extra and completed it, so that was pretty much a wash. I did make 1 jacket. It was not any of the 3 I had originally planned, and the 2 coats were both added throughout the year, and the 1 vest was one of the ones I had originally planned. So in total, I made 14 of the 24 originally planned garments and added 10 for my total of 24. Now, some of the garments that I added throughout the year are some of my favorites to wear, so we should probably talk about them. First, let's talk about what's new. I talked about this garment in my vintage Dr. Crusher cosplay video. It is the 1940s swing coat that I had planned to make, now completed. I really love it a lot. I've been wearing it pretty much every single day because it is basically spring here, but it's still chilly in the mornings and then warm in the afternoon. So I try to dress for the warmer weather, and then I have this to throw on when I need to go outside, especially in the mornings. I love it a lot. It's very comfy and cozy and very elegantly casual. There's nothing casual about this one, but it is very elegant. This is my birthday gown, which I will be wearing for you tonight when I have my birthday party. For me, it's 3 days from now, but the gown is finished ahead of time. I'm so proud of myself. It does still need closures, but it's otherwise done. It has a hem. All of the seams are bound on the inside. It looks really nice. And I love it. The plan is to make a sensation at my party, because it's my party. And I can. Now, this video is going to be longer than most of my monthly wrap-up videos because it is a year of wrap-up, and I want to talk about each garment individually and give them a rating, similar to how I did when I introduced this video in January of last year when I rated all of the previous vintage makes. So, starting off strong with my navy applique skirt. Still a favorite. Maybe not the top spot, but I really love it and I still wear it all the time. If we're going by the number of times I've worn it, this is probably the top one, but that's because it has been in the wardrobe the longest. Although there's a skirt that I made towards the end of last year that gives it a run for its money. But it's held up really well to all of that wear. It's still very comfortable, very practical. It has pockets. It makes me feel cute. I have no notes, 10 out of 10. Next we have the light blue wool skirt. This one also gets a lot of wear. It is also very comfortable. It's warmer than the other one because it is a thicker wool, and it is also fully lined, which makes it a bit warmer. It also has pockets, it's also comfortable and adjustable, and I love it. 10 out of 10. Next we have the garment that every time I put it on, I think to myself, I really need to make another of these because I love it. It is the Black Watch plaid vest. It's also wool. I think it's very fun and flattering to wear. I love the colors. It has pockets. Once again, no notes. 10 out of 10. Next, the teal trousers. These have also gotten a lot of wear. They are very fun and comfortable. I really like the color. It goes with a lot of things. And it's also just a break from boring pants, which I love. There are two things that would knock this down. One, I cut them out years ago when I was a smaller size, and I had to adjust them to make them large enough to fit me. They fit me okay, but I would like to have more room in the pants. And the other thing is they are polyester, so they are not historically accurate to the 1940s, which is what the pattern is supposed to be. But it was more important to me to sew from my stash, and I've had this fabric for a very long time. I actually bought it when Hancock Fabrics went out of business, which was so long ago now. But now we're feeling echoes of that with Joann going out of business. Anyway, if I were to make them again, which I probably will, I liked this pattern a lot, I would make them out of probably wool or maybe cotton. So overall, 8 out of 10. Next we have another wool skirt. This one was not quite what I wanted it to be. I really wanted to make the full dress that I took just the skirt portion of this pattern, but I didn't have enough. I only had enough to make the skirt. And that was fine, except that I also wanted it to have the split side pocket placket closure and be adjustable, which was difficult and almost did not work, but I made it work in the end. And I do love it. It's a very thin wool, so much more suitable to spring and fall than it is to winter. So it doesn't get quite as much wear as the other two wool skirts, which I can kind of wear 3 out of the 4 seasons. I should wear this in the summer though. No reason not to. This one does wrinkle pretty easily, and therefore I have to iron it more often. Other than that, I do really love it. I think it's really pretty. I love the color. 9 out of 10. Next we have one of 2 teal blouses, which I've been calling rayon this whole time, having sewn, ironed, worn, and washed this fabric, now multiple times. I do not believe it is rayon after all. I'm pretty sure it's a synthetic blend of some kind. There might be some nylon in it. Anyway, this one was moderately successful. I had started making it in 2016 when I was a much smaller size than I am now. So it's a good thing it's a loose fit, or it would probably not be able to button at all. But it does work. I do like it. It's fun to wear. I love the color. I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's getting knocked down for the synthetic fabric, the not great fit, and also the neckline is a little wonky because I did that portion of the sewing back in 2016 when I had a lot less experience than I do now, and I did not do a very good job. I fixed it as best I could, but it is what it is. 7 out of 10. This one has the exact same story as the other one. The reason they were both started in 2016 and then abandoned was because I had made them both as wearable mock-ups for the dress patterns I was using just the bodice portion for to make these blouses. My intent was to have 2 garments for the work of making one, the work of making a mock-up being included in that. And it does therefore have all of the same issues as the other one. Same fabric, same fit issues. It's starting to get these stretched out areas at the back. And unfortunately, this one goes on over my head, and I didn't put a zipper in. I did a placket at the bottom, and it's also starting to tear here. I should have made the placket go higher. So it's really difficult to get on and off, and therefore I don't wear it very much. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I really like the pattern. I think it's really cute, but it's difficult to wear, so I don't wear it much. Next, these trousers were purchased. I did not make them, but I altered them to make them more vintage appropriate and also to fit me better. And to have real pockets at the back. They had fake welt pockets, which I cannot abide. So now they have real ones, and the waistband, which was elastic and had a like 1-inch high ruffle along the top for unknown reasons, is now a fitted waistband with an adjustable pocket placket closure, and they are so comfortable and I wear them all the time. They are rayon, they're breathable, they're flowy, they're so great. I'm trying to think if there are any problems and I can't think of anything, so 10 out of 10. My third pair of pants is exactly the same as the teal pair, but in a different color. I started them at the same time, I finished them around the same time. And they are also the same fabric in a different color. Also bought at Hancock Fabrics when they were closing. So they have all of the same high and low points of the teal trousers. Another 8 out of 10. This blouse I love so much. I used a vintage pattern. It was another dress pattern that I used just the bodice. And as soon as I made this blouse, I said I have to make the full dress. It's so comfortable and flattering, and the pattern was really nice to work with. It sewed up really well. I love this fabric. This is rayon. It has a very lovely drape. It goes on over my head, and I did make the placket go higher so that it's much easier to get into. It can be tricky to get out of, but that's okay. I think my only issue is I could have made it a tiny bit longer so that it tucks into skirts and pants better. So I guess 9.5 out of 10. But I do love it a lot. Next blouse. This one is also rayon, but not a drapey rayon. It's a very crisp hand. This blouse is also too short, you can probably tell. It does not like staying tucked in at all. I did not enjoy working on this one. This pattern was distinctly unfun to make, and I don't think I will make it again. I do like it in my wardrobe as something different, and I'm happy with how it turned out. But I think 7 out of 10, because it wasn't fun to make, and it's not super fun to wear. On the other hand, this one is super fun to wear. I hated making it. I really, really hated making it. But it's very comfortable, it's very cute, and it's very bright and fun, which I love. I think the only issue is that I converted it to be sort of a wrap dress with pocket plackets so that it's adjustable, and I should have made this inside part of the pocket wider so that it covers more of that slit there, but it's not bad. 9.5 out of 10. And I loved that fabric so much that I immediately took all that was left and made it into a huge gathered skirt. It's even more densely gathered in the back. And this one was fun to make because I wasn't trying to match 3 triangles at the same point. It was just a giant gathered rectangle with a waistband and pockets. I love it. 10 out of 10, no notes. Here we have the aforementioned dress that I wanted to make after I made that gray scoop neck blouse. And this fabric was so perfect for it. It makes me very happy. Although I thought it was rayon, and now that I've worked with it, I think it's polyester, unfortunately. It feels like a rayon and it drapes like a rayon, but it does start to melt if you iron with high heat. And when it's wet, it does not behave like rayon. It also doesn't breathe very well, or this dress would get a lot more wear than it does. It works well as a spring and fall dress, not a summer dress, definitely not a summer dress, but that's okay because it's black and it has 3/4 sleeves, so it wasn't really going to be a summer dress anyway. It's not meant to be a summer dress. That was not the intent. 9.5 out of 10. If it were rayon, it would be a 10. Now this one is rayon. This is the other gray rayon blouse that is the same fabric as the scoop neck. Now this one I hopped out of the 40s and used a 60s pattern because I really wanted to try that neck bow. It turned out pretty cute. I think it's a lot of fun to wear. Although I haven't really worn it because I made it in October, and as soon as I was done, it was no longer warm enough to wear short sleeves, so I have not really worn it yet. It's finally getting warm enough now to start wearing it again, so I'm sure it will get a lot of wear this summer. I do love it. The only thing is tying this bow is rather fussy, and it looks really dumb if I don't tie it nicely, so it's a bit tricky to wear. 9 out of 10. Now this one I really wanted to love. I made it to be exactly the dress on the pattern envelope, and I succeeded. I succeeded in what I set out to do. I just don't like it as much as I thought I would. It definitely reads like a nurse's costume, like a 1940s nurse Halloween costume, which is not great. It's not what I'm going for. Also, the fabric is a rather loose weave. It's a bit sheer, and it's not very strong. So it is already starting to show signs of wear at the darts in the skirt, which is not ideal. Also, it's very white. It's like optic white, and when I wear it outside, it's just so bright. And I think I prefer a little more soft white to wear personally. So I don't know how much wear I'm going to get out of this one, but I do already have plans to remake this exact dress in a better fabric. Not white. It's going to be blue and red. But I'll talk about that in another video. I did really like the pattern. I was just not happy with the overall execution on this one. I might wear it as a beach cover-up, but that's probably it. Sadly, 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. On the other hand, this skirt has probably been worn by me as much as the navy applique skirt, and it's been in my closet a lot less time. It is so cozy and comfy. I love it. I love it so much. It is a cotton flannel, so it's very comfy, but it's also washable. It's a circle skirt, so there's lots of fabric in it, and it's about mid-calf length, so I can wear it going up the stairs without picking up my skirt, which is great. 10 out of 10. No notes. This blouse I do really love a lot. This is yet another one that I thought the fabric was rayon until I worked with it more, and now I'm pretty sure it's polyester. Also, I put the sleeves on backwards, and I'm still going to fix that, but I haven't really worn it since I made that discovery. So I think I need to fix it before I can truly be happy with it and wear this one. I do love the collar. I really love the sleeves. Even though it's a synthetic fabric, it is fairly comfortable to wear, and I do love it a lot. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10? That doesn't feel right. 9 out of 10. I think everything from here on out are projects I had not planned from the beginning. Starting with this gorgeous plaid wool coat. I love it so much. I still need to make the velvet removable collar, but in the meantime, it's gorgeous. And it's also too warm to wear it, as it is wool and quite heavy. But I love the dramatic collar. I love the link buttons that I can switch out and have the black ones if I don't feel like having red. I love the lining. I love the pattern matching, which was hard won, but worth it. And it has pockets. 10 out of 10. This was my first secret project, my vintage Beverly Crusher cosplay suit jacket. I'm so happy with this one. It turned out exactly how I wanted it. It's really fun to wear. 10 out of 10. And the blue skirt to go with the Beverly Crusher suit jacket. also 10 out of 10. And this is the exact same skirt in black. Also goes with the same jacket, 10 out of 10. And we've already discussed the swing coat, 10 out of 10. And my birthday gown, which, just having worn it a tiny bit, it makes me feel so glamorous, and I love it. 10 out of 10. And hey, I added a new color! I made so many blue things. I should count how many blue garments I made. I tell you what, if you didn't know my favorite color at the beginning of the year, you likely know it now. It's blue. Now, of course, this is not all that I will get to wear for the next year, because I do have my previous vintage makes, 5 dresses, 3 skirts, and 1 blouse. And I also have blouses like this one that were purchased and already in my wardrobe that I can mix in as pseudo vintage. So I think we're in pretty good shape. I think I can do this. I think I can wear just my vintage makes for a year. I'm excited. I'm excited to start. Now, as for future plans, I do intend to finish everything on this board eventually, and I have plans for other things that are not yet on this board because I was focusing on just my 1940s patterns and fabric that I already had at the time. But I do intend to branch out into the 50s, more into the 60s, and I also want to go backwards into the 30s and the 20s a bit. So I'm going to be playing around a lot with the definition of vintage. And I'm also going to track all of these garments in a spreadsheet, and at the end of the year I will have totals for how many times each one is worn. And I will also be doing monthly updates with how it's going. I think I'm going to try to not repeat an outfit in a given month. I will definitely have to be repeating outfits over the course of the year, but I'm going to really try to get 30 distinct outfits out of these 24 garments. Shouldn't be too hard. And then sort of rotate through as the seasons change. I'll have different outfits in the spring, then the summer, then the fall, then the winter. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. If you enjoyed this video, as always, don't forget to give me a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. There will be a lot more vintage content coming up, so definitely stay tuned, and I will see you soon. Bye! And for everyone who watched my previous video all the way to the end, the answer is I play the flute.